So here we are in the middle of March of 2025, and I want to put on your radar the growing trend of, again, mass street violence in the form of riots and violent protests. I don't know if we're necessarily heading for something the scale of the 2020 Summer of Love that we saw. And the reason for the magnitude of that event was, of course, the killing of George Floyd, which was a very triggering event. Obviously, that was utilized to mobilize such hostility, of course, but also that was in the middle of the COVID pandemic lockdowns, right? So people were bored, and those who are inclined to go out on the streets and wreak mayhem had nothing but time on their hands. Okay, so I don't know if we're in a situation where we're going to see mass riots to that extent. However, what I would submit is that the factions that are now rioting concerning the deportation of illegal aliens, and now other events that have crept into that. For example, currently the debate over the deportation of a foreign student, essentially, that has a green card now, who was making trouble on the Columbia University campus, right? That is also thrown into the mix. And we saw protesters storm Trump Tower, etc. What you have to bear in mind is that that side of the political space sees protesting and rioting on the streets as a form of resistance, because now there is a political party that they are opposed to in complete power in the federal government, a president who they literally have for years claimed as a fascist and Hitler, and that president and everything he's doing actually has pretty high approval ratings. So they are at a loss as to how to deal with this, other than resorting to the usual thing that they do, and that's take to the streets and burn things down. So this is not going to get better anytime soon. It's going to get worse. As the deportations ramp up, it's going to get worse and worse as the extreme left is going to take to the streets and cause issues. So how does that pertain to you in your life? Well, obviously, if you live in rural areas, it probably is not going to manifest in any way that directly affects you. If you live in urban areas, you are far more likely to see the ramifications of this unrest. Be mindful of what is happening around you. Are you in close proximity to some of those triggering events? University campuses, courthouses, any place where these things may play out in a legal regard. You need to know what's happening around you. Pay attention to the news. Are there planned protests anywhere around your home, around your place of work, or anywhere within the route that you take between one and the other? You want to know what's happening, and you want to know if there are any of those potential hotspots, once again, on your route between work and home, for example, or anywhere that you frequently travel. So be mindful that this is going to be the new form of, again, resistance, right? That is taking to the streets and getting violent and screaming and yelling at police and getting arrested and looting and burglarizing and arson. We've not seen as much of that yet, again, compared to the summer of 2020, but that very well may be on its way. So pay attention to these things as they develop. We are in for several years of this constant attempted upheaval from that particular faction as they face a loss as to what to do, as the other side is racking up a lot of wins. So we're going to see more and more of this. Be prepared.